Well, hello, traders and investors. I'm L.A. Little, and this is your daily NeoTA wrap. Take a look at these markets, and we're doing it from a neoclassical perspective. That means each time we're asking ourselves what happened today, and does it give us any clues as to what's going to happen in the coming ones. Do this show 4 times a week, every Monday through Thursday. It's broadcast at before 10 o'clock Eastern Time, archived on YouTube, and it's under the channel L.A. Little. If you haven't subscribed and you want to, just reach up in the right-hand corner. Do so anytime I push content. You'll get a notification. As far as what happened today, I must say it must be one of the more interesting days I've seen with the Trump news conference. I don't think I've seen anything like that in a long time. I think we're going to be in store for a lot more of these kind of combative type exchanges between Trump and the press and Trump and just about everything else. Markets dove, markets jumped, markets did all kinds of things. The biotechs were the ones that were hit. Outside of that, by the end of the day, the markets were up again. And so we've got more green on the screen here than else. The dollar was higher, gave it all up, flipped back around. And so I don't think there's much more to say other than that. Let's look at the charts. I'm doing this show a little bit early, so the volume numbers aren't in. I'm not going to be around later at my normal time. It's still range trading, right? We don't have, until we break out of the range and really get going, right? It's just a big range. You can draw it there, and you can draw the one that's a little bit higher, that's tighter up in that area, but it's still a range trade. You got the break on the swing point low. You did a full retest regen off that prior low, which is over here, right? You've done a full retest regen. You tested it again today, and again, you can't break it down, and what happens? The buyers again come in, they buy, they continue to accumulate. If we look elsewhere, you're seeing it's sort of the same picture. I noticed that Apple did get a pop-up by the end of the day and extended its push higher. That helped the NDX push higher. If you look at the NASDAQ, the broad NASDAQ, it's continued its push as well. And if we look at the Russell, which is the small caps, the Russell did a small push up today as well. So it's still range trading. You got the extensions taking place on what used to be the weakest indexes. And outside of that, not much else is different. Market still wants to move up. So last night I promised you I was going to make a special deal for people that might want to be a member of the TA Today community. And it really is a community. If you want to come over to the site and check this out, there is a great deal available to you, from videos to commentary to the portfolio to mentoring, all of these things available. Education is the theme. Not only is it education, though, it's tools. You've got a great set of tools. I've worked on these. These are the ones I built for myself originally and then expanded them to make them available to all members. These are neoclassical tools. You're not going to find them anywhere else. So you've got tools, you've got education, and you can get all of this in a way that we haven't offered yet, but we're going to make an offer, and that is 2 for 1. When we bring you on, or when you join the community, you're not a number. We're going to invest time in you, and because we're going to invest time in you, we can't simply take anybody that comes in off the street. So unlike most places you're going to go, you're going to have to actually fill out an application, and we're going to see that we can hopefully meet your needs and that you're a good match for us just as we're a good match for you. Because it's going to take both of us. It's going to take that partnership to make this work. We're going to have to invest time in you, and of course you're going to have to invest time in yourself. And to do all of that, the way we can make this more affordable is bring a friend. 2 people come together. When we do the initial sessions together, we'll do them with Skype. And so when we're teaching one of you, we'll teach 2 of you at the same time. Now, it will take a little bit longer for us, but it's not a huge extra investment. So we're offering a 2 for 1 deal, 5 slots, first come, first serve. How do you get involved? Well, if you want to get involved in this special deal, just pop back over to the site, come to the membership, hit the get started, and if you, or you could actually hit the community as well. To get started, the community will tell you about the program and then lead you to get started. You got to fill out an application. You can get more information on these icons. So if you want to get in line for the 2-for-1 deal, now's the time. I'm opening it up tonight, first come, first serve. Once we review the applications that come in, pick the first 5 slots, then we'll close it again until we have more time available to actually teach. Don't want to bring too many on. We want to do this right. And so if you're really interested, come check us out and see what you think. Switching our attention back to the markets here, we had the FXE on the currency side push up. Now the FXE had already tested, and we haven't looked at this in a while, and this is on the daily chart. It had already tested this bearish retest regenerate, and it had tested it 2 or 3 times. Well, today it blew through it, which suggests that this thing is going to go after the next set of highs. This swing point high here, actually that whole gap area, that looks to be what this is going to try to target, and you had some volume come in off of that move. If you pull it over, look at the weekly, a little bit different story, right? You got the retest regen it's about to come into. That's a big bar. It's not more than 6 bars on the break. Matter of fact, you've already tested once before. So I would think that this time you can actually get deeper on this time frame. Push as high as 105, almost 106 on the weekly chart. If we move over and look at the dollar to see how it stacks up, on the dollar itself, you've got the exact opposite situation, right, where this tried to trade higher and then flipped back around, traded lower. By the end of the day, volume comes in. Bullish retest regen still in effect here. It is testing it one more time. It tested it once before and just barely got under it, flipped back around. That sort of pattern usually ends up with a deeper test. If you go over and find your last anchor bar prior to that, it's back into this area, and then of course there is some support right there as well. So looks to me like currencies are going to try to push the dollar back to the downside and lift after having been beaten up. That should help commodity type sectors and indexes. We did see it in the oil sector. We saw some of the mining stocks, a little bit in the metal stocks. All of those benefited from it. If we look at Apple, I mentioned Apple. I want to bring that up and show you that chart, and you can see that extension continuing today. It's gotten over to swing point high, broke multiple swing points. If you take the daily and the weekly, it's a break over both of them if it holds. Apple trying to extend into the earnings season, and it's got a pretty good shot of doing that right now. The other name that's starting to pick up some action is Google. When you look at the 3 big capped stocks, it's Apple, Microsoft, and Google. Google itself over a swing point high. It's got that high with volume out there it's shooting for. That becomes a magnet at this point, 839. I would be very surprised if it doesn't find a way to get up there and tag it. Which brings me back to a ETF, the index that we talked about before, which was the XLK. Remember, we were talking about failures, test failures twice here, but each time, the volumes didn't really change. Even though they had failed on this test, they were not getting the push back down. Today, it breaks higher. When you see something that does something it shouldn't do, in this case, it should have try and pull back, and it can't, that tells you this index is stronger than you think, and that suggests to me that now this ABCD structure is going to try to fulfill, and so that whole sector is going to try and push even higher. Okay, tomorrow we don't have anything tomorrow. We got earnings on Friday in the financials. There was a video out this morning. If you haven't seen it, maybe you want to take a look at it. I'll pop it up here for you. It's pretty easy to get to. You just hit the NeoTA video. The archives you're watching is here. There's some member wraps that are kind of time delayed, and the 2-minute trade is the one I'm talking about. And there's one on the financials here if you want to check it out. 2 minutes or less. Give you all you need to know. That's it for today. Have a great one. I'll see you next time. Good night.